Hello, first years. Here we are then, project number 5. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? Advert projects, our very first project, which covered 2 units. Very much done. Feedback is with you. Professional projects, which followed all those months ago, was a shorter project. We looked into a job you were quite interested in researching and practicing the skills within. Feedback is with you in classroom. Similarly, the visual analysis and projects, which was handed in before Christmas, and feedback pointers, tips, and tricks in video feedback is with you in classroom. The audio project, which much like the visual analysis, but even more so, was created by yourselves completely within lockdown. That's quite something. That is no small thing. I work with lots of schools and colleges around the country who are working with students remotely, and they aren't doing as much as we are, it's fair to say. They aren't making the progress that you guys are making, it's fair to say. They aren't having the support with online lessons, using chat, video lessons, live coaching that you are. And you as students are really going above and beyond our expectations in terms of the productivity, the maturity levels, the professionalism as well. When I come to write your references, I'll be mentioning the academic year of 2020, 2021 quite a lot, and how it really showed who was the true professional, who was the problem solver, who were the true creatives who carried on finding solutions through what was the most difficult time in the history of education. So, thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Feedback will be with you soon from Rachel and myself. We're now at the interactive project. Now, the interactive project is ordinarily done using virtual reality and headsets and high-powered PCs, but we're going to pivot and adapt and find solutions because that's what we do. Interactive project then, starting the 1st of February 2021 and lasting for 4 weeks until the 5th of March. At the time of recording, which is the 31st of January 2021, we are moving forward with this project as planned. Now, this project is just a 1-unit project, and we're going to be making it as streamlined and simple as possible for us as we are working remotely. So, let's have a look, shall we, at what we're going to be doing. Because as you can see, it's the last one before the final major project begins. Again, that is at the time of recording, that is the plan. So, let us now look at the brief for the interactive project. Now, the interactive project is Unit 7. You are going to be investigating interactive media. That is media the audience, the user can interact, twist, click, engage with. You've got a month to plan, test, create, and then evaluate something. At 4:30 on the 5th of March 2021, you'll be handing in what you have done. That'll be the last of your formative projects. What I mean by that is these projects here are formative. They are pass or not yet pass. They are training for the big one, the final major project, where ultimately your final grade for the year, pass, merit, or distinction will be decided. Let's focus on this one. Now, the aim of this unit is to help you develop skills, building on the skills you've learned before, on how to bring together your previous learning and to work in interactive based media. Media that connects with an audience, that has interactivity with the user. That's the key focus here. The brief is this. We've been asked by the EM3 team, who I do quite a bit of work with, these wonderful folk who help to upskill, train, and improve the M3 corridor. That is all of the towns, cities, and councils and counties that come off the M3 motorway in the southeast of England. People at the EM3, the Enterprise M3, provide support for businesses, for companies to ensure they're ready for the future using new technologies in particular, but also with training opportunities. Hence why I work with them, doing what I do most of the week. They're connected to a lot of people, lots of good connections. So it made sense to get them involved for this project. They're looking for you to do this, to contribute a case study. And this will get you professional development hours. All the hours you do on this project will count towards professional development hours because you're going to be doing this. You're going to be looking into and researching how new and emerging technologies, apps, social media, and so on, different tools, websites, how these new and emerging technologies can be used to engage the 16 to 25-year-old demographic in 2021. So the EM3 team wants to know, wants to discover, wants to find out what works using interactive media. So it's good research for them, professional development hours for you, and your unit criteria as well. Not bad. What I mean by interactive media then, because it's quite a strange phrase, isn't it? It can be interpreted in numerous different ways. Some examples that Rachel, Vicky, and I are going to be sharing with you in week 1 will make it even clearer. But to give you a quick summary, a social media story that engages the user in quizzes, games, interactivity, comments, back and forth. Interactive images using things like ThingLink, which we'll be showing you in the first week as well, or interactive videos where the user clicks on images, has pop-up questions and pop-up videos and multiple choice questions as they interact and click within the actual image and video. Live streams using Twitch, YouTube Live, Instagram Live, whereby an audience is engaged and interacted with in a prepared, professional manner, rather than just winging it. Augmented reality, that is a digital layer on the real world, much like Pokemon Go and the recent Harry Potter app that trended for a while. Virtual reality. Now, of course, we're somewhat limited working remotely, but there are some tools we can show you to build 360 interactive environments. ThingLink being one of them. MR stands for mixed reality, which is a mixture of augmented and virtual reality. Any games using different game building apps and websites and tools, or whether it be using tools like what I use with you, like WooClap or Nearpod, to engage an audience. Using AI, artificial intelligence, so chatbots, for example, to have pre-built responses for the user when they respond to actually instantly give feedback or pointers or information to people. Youper being one in particular I want to share with you. Or perhaps it's choose your own path stories. Markiplier in particular used that method particularly well. Also, Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror and the Bandersnatch Netflix episodes are indicative of what can be done with choose your own path video on streaming platforms and YouTube, of course. You can work independently on this project or in a 2-person team. You decide. 2 people maximum, though. You will select a form of interactive media. You will decide. And then you're going to plan a prototype, that is a test version of it. You're going to test it. You're going to get feedback on it. You're going to iterate, as it were. Test it, get feedback. Test it, get feedback. And then you're going to submit a finished product by the end of the 4-week cycle. Individually, whether you're working in a pair or working solo, doesn't matter. You are going to evidence all of your thoughts and iterations, that is the different versions of your project on the site for myself, the assessor, and of course for the clients, who are, again, the Enterprise M3 team, who support everyone in the Southeast, essentially businesses, companies with new solutions, with funding, with training, with technology in particular. It's important to me, as always, that everything is visible on your site or blog, so that not only I can see it, but the clients can see it as well. That's really important to check how it looks to the user, something we need to be increasingly conscious of, the user viewpoint. It's that design thinking mindset we're trying to train within you. 5th of March 2021. This is a project to try new things, try something different. Fail fast, learn from your mistakes, go again, get better. I'm really keen that we take risks on this project. We have nothing to lose. Let's try new things. Let's keep getting better. I love that about you as a class. You do embrace these opportunities. There are different sections. First one being 1.1 requirements. What are the expectations and limits of your project idea? Has it been done before? What are you going to be creating and why are you creating that for that particular audience? What evidence is there to say it works with that particular audience? What do you know about that audience's habits? Got any analytics or stats or graphs or data to back that up? What resources do you need? Do you need access to any software at all? What barriers are there? You know yourself at this point. You know how you work through a project. What barriers are there? Identify them early so we can mitigate them. That is, make them less severe as we progress through this short project. The second stage is research. Here it's important you show us that you are listening and developing your project through primary research, of course. That is research you have done yourself. Looking at social media polls, for example, focus groups with 3 or more people in breakout rooms potentially, or quizzes. One of those would be fine for primary research. For secondary research, maybe looking at tutorials, articles, demonstrations. One of those would be fine as well. So one from the primary research category, one from the secondary research category. That would be great. Then it's about prototyping, really. I mean, prototyping here, I'm looking for you to give us behind the scenes screenshots, maybe videos, maybe little audio files, maybe little text updates. But I do need updates throughout the process, not just something rushed at the end. Some of you need to get out of that habit. You can't just rush things at the end. If you're rushing an evaluation at the end, then you're letting us know that you're a pass level learner. Merit level and distinction level learners evaluate and reflect constantly. Constantly update their blog, they think about it, they record their thoughts, vlogs, podcasts, text updates, and they pivot and adapt and show that agile approach to their projects rather than just doing one thing and then polishing the china on the Titanic as it sinks. A true creative will pivot, adapt, and be agile in their thinking. That's what I'm looking for. So when you're creating the prototype, those behind the scenes updates of planning, organizing, and presenting ideas really show us where the merit and distinction learners are. Prototype testing of your project. So after 2.5 weeks, maybe, we're going to be asking you to test your product with another group in a breakout room with other people, with friends if you're feeling brave outside of our 35 students in our class. Maybe the second years of the course would like to test it. But you do need to test it with your demographic, which will be 16 to 25-year-olds for this project. You're going to be creating examples and demonstrations of your project for your demographic. That is people between 16 and 25 to test and feedback on. Then you're going to create it. Again, individually or in your pair, you're going to create working examples of your finished project before the submission. So actually, again, get that constant feedback. It's really important. All the while ensuring that you are updating your site or blog every week. Lastly, you're going to reflect, evaluate. You can do this as either a 5-minute vlog, a 5-minute podcast, or if you're writing it, 500 words, so one sheet of A4. Answering these questions here. How did you get feedback from your tutor client and reflect on the project as you made progress? What skills did you learn? What did you learn about yourself? How effective is your project based on the brief? Does it satisfy the brief? Does it answer that question? Because they did give you a question to answer. How did you present your ideas? On a site or a blog? Did you do it through a couple of versions, version A, version B? How effective was your own communication? Now, this one's massive to me. Did you have a chat group? Did you make calendar appointments with each other? Did you have a to-do list? Did you have a spreadsheet? Did you organise yourself as a team, or did you just tut and roll your eyes when you were let down by your partner? How did you communicate? And if you're working independently, how did you communicate with Rachel, Scott, and Vicky? Did you communicate with them? Did you use our chat group to talk to people to get feedback? How effective was your communication? So, distinction level example of that might be somebody using, I don't know, subreddits or social media to actually get feedback on their product with people beyond the classroom. Actually testing it with people outside using certain hashtags to find people who would be useful to get their views on. That would be that distinction level, going above and beyond the expectations of the merits, as an example there. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going to be marking this as a witness statement, really. I'm going to be circling or not circling each of these categories here that I've just gone through. And that's that, my friends. That's the last project before we enter the final major project. Again, at the time of recording, that is the way it is. Here's where we are. Again, I can't reiterate enough how proud of you all that the team are. Rachel, Vicky, Shamian, and myself. You're exceptional as a cohort of students. I'm really excited to see what ideas you've got for this. Have fun with it, take risks. We're here to ensure everybody gets over the finishing line, which is the 5th of March 2021. 4 weeks. We're here, we're in your corner. So keep talking to us. We are a team after all. Okay, everybody. Good luck.